Here we go. Let's do it. We got to do example 6. We're going to verify using algebra because we're algebros. All right. So, verify this identity. So now some people say if I cross multiply, I can get there. If you're verifying something, can you manipulate both sides? No. A verification means I'm going to take one side and make it look like the other. So if it says verify, I can do either side. All right? I can do either side. Actually, which side do you guys? I can do this both ways. Which way do you guys think I should do it? This one? You guys want to manipulate that side? Okay. So how are we going to do it? Oh, you guys are going to make my life really difficult. What if I told you, let's not do that side? I take it back. Let's not do that side. Here's why I'm not going to do that side. Think about this. This is a really tricky problem. What do I see down here? Wait, I could do this one. Yeah, let's do it. Okay. Let's do that side. That's 1 minus sine of theta, right? That's nothing. But if it was 1 minus sine squared, it would be something. Does that make sense? Is there a way, if I have a minus b, what can I multiply that by to get to be a squared minus b squared? A plus b, right? In trig, whenever you see these, you're going to multiply by the conjugate. So I'm going to multiply this side by 1 plus sine of theta. Now I'm going to let you in a hint. I haven't seen this come up on a practice test, so I'm going to show it to you once. You're going to do a few, but be ready because they can put it on there. If you see a 1 plus cosine or a 1 minus cosine or a 1 minus, you know what I mean? You're going to multiply it by the conjugate of it because you need it to, because then I can convert it to something, okay? Because when I multiply this out, I'm going to end up with 1 minus sine squared on the top. Technically, that's 1 squared, right? Just so you guys know where that's coming from. And on the bottom, it's going to be cosine of theta times 1 plus sine. Now, have you guys also noticed I don't distribute? I've never distributed yet on these, right? You can, but distributing is just going to make your life more difficult because I'm going to want stuff to cancel. And it's going to be easier to cancel if I leave it grouped together. So what's 1 minus sine squared? It's cosine squared. But could I also, if I don't see that, whenever I see a 1 in trig, what do I have to start thinking that's going to be? Sine squared plus cosine squared, right? That's a very, very common identity. Oh, snap. That was the lamest thing I've done. And I have a math degree. What's sine squared minus sine squared? They cancel, right? So I'm left with cosine squared over cosine of theta 1 plus sine of theta. What happens to one of my cosines? One of my cosines cancels because there's 2 and 1. So you're telling me that beast equals this? Are they the same? Boom. Now what's wild is, could I have done the same exact thing to the left side and got to equal that? What would I multiply my top and bottom by though? 1 minus sine, right? And then it would become the conjugate. So it's very, very common in math. Again, if you see that without the squared, make it into something with a square.
How do you know why not make that 1 into the sine squared?
That's good. When do I change that 1 into cosine squared plus sine squared? If I have a sine squared or cosine squared I want to get rid of. Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Why didn't I do it? Because I got to the point where it matched that side. I knew what I wanted to look at like. So once I got here, Because technically I could multiply by 1 minus sine squared and I'd get back to here, right? Like I could keep going back and forth. But I had an end goal, and once I got there, I knew I was done. Okay, that's a good question. What do you want? What does this apply to? There are going to be times where a derivative doesn't exist or a problem doesn't exist, and you need to manipulate in a way that you can take the derivative of it. This is Calc talk. So you need to be able to take equations and simplify them or get rid of, change what trig ratio they are to something else. Honestly, used a lot. It really is. If you're going into, again, this is pre-Calc, so we're getting you ready for Calc, so we're getting you ready to be an engineer in many ways. Engineering, yeah. You need to manipulate one thing, especially if you're dealing with sound waves or light waves or oscillate, like you're going to have to manipulate stuff. Or cancel.
Good.